I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
'23 Rolls-Royce Phantom Series 2 with no launch control.
Wow, that was smooth.
So nice. Horsepower and torque.
563 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque from a twin-turbo 6 3/4 liter V12.
And if you can't tell, Jacob lost his voice a little bit while we're down here in California on our TrueCar trip to drive some cars where it's nice weather for once.
Yeah, so shout out TrueCar for hosting us down here. We've previously driven several iterations of Rolls-Royces, with the Cullinan being the first one, and then we drove 2 different Ghosts. This is our first Phantom.
And this is the big boy in the lineup, full size, 4-door.
Except there is an extended wheelbase version of this as well, and this being a 2023 is a Series 2.
Which is not a refresh.
No, but it kind of is, but Rolls-Royce doesn't call it one.
Yeah, they changed slight things, but not too much because their customers didn't want too many changes. And I kind of get it because I like the way the Phantom 8 looks, and like the little changes for Series 2 just make it look similar but slightly different.
The biggest change for me are the headlights.
Yes, the DRLs are now aligned instead of wrapping all the way around, and then I think the grille is changed as well.
Yeah, slightly to, I believe, allow the Spirit of Ecstasy to present itself slightly more.
And this is the first Phantom with a light-up grille.
Yes, which was first shown on the Ghost.
And then we've got the Starry Light headliner, which is now also matching the Starry Lights in the headlights.
That is the coolest part, because I think I like the previous DRLs more, but because we have starry lights in the headlights, I think these are my favorite ones now.
And then we've got this in a nice blue color, which looks really nice. And then we have some kind of different hood. What is it called? Because it's not called matte black.
It's iced, Erie.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. And then this paint is called Iguazu Blue.
I like the red pinstripe a lot, unless that red has
it's definitely not called red. It's got a really fancy name.
But I like it. I think this looks really nice. And probably my favorite part is the wheels for the looks.
Okay, I do like these wheels. However, Rolls-Royce offers the disc wheels for the first time on this Series 2, and I love those wheels. I affectionately refer to them as dinner plates.
Those are the best, but these are awesome. And then we've got the anti-spinners. So that's,
yes.
What are the anti-spinners?
The Rolls-Royce logo always stays upright.
Yeah, I think that they're anti-spinners.
Sure.
Whatever. What do you want me to call them?
I don't know.
They look cool. And then the Rolls-Royce rep told us that when they were looking for the tire for the Phantom 8 Series 2, they needed to have the best tire with like the best driving and the quietest. Because if you listen in here, freaking silent.
And this tire is so special that it lowers the volume in here by 9 decibels.
They told us they went through a ton of tires, and the one that was on this tire was the very last tire they tested and were happy with. And what tire would that be for the Rolls-Royce Phantom 8 Series 2?
The Continental Conti Sport Contact 5.
Yo, how sweet is that?
That's pretty sweet, because they also have an inner layer of foam, and that's what really does it.
So that's what makes these stand out from the Contact 5s that I have on my Prowler. And my challenge for all of you is to go to tsp.truecar.com and find your favorite Rolls-Royce on there. Let us know which one it is. And make sure you leave one for Jacob, because that's his dream car that he's going to buy one day.
And since we are in California, there's actually a lot of Rolls-Royces, used ones, within 100 miles of where we currently are.
Of the only zip code that we know as Canadians.
90210.
Yes.
Thanks to that show in the 90s.
Which one?
90210.
Oh, Zach.
And now to change pace a little bit, let's talk about driving. We've already said how quiet it is. The next thing is how comfortable it is. The suspension is unreal. It doesn't have the suspension for the suspension like the Ghost, but it doesn't need it. This still has a camera that does road preview, so it'll see all the potholes and whatever you're driving around in these Malibu canyons. And it also has air suspension, so we can raise or lower it. This is the most comfortable car I've ever sat in.
Yeah, and people complain about LA potholes and stuff, and they complain about LA traffic, and we got stuck in some of it. And
it is real.
They are kind of right, but how well did this handle like bad roads up here?
Oh man, you don't even think about it. You're so cocooned in here. It's just so relaxing.
But how relaxing is it in the back seat while you're being driven? Is it still comfortable handling wise?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this also has like active anti-roll bars, so there's not that much body roll considering how big this thing is.
Oh, yo, okay, we're coming up to a tunnel. I'm gonna roll down the window. We got a tunnel send. We gotta try.
We have to since we're here. And the quietest V12 sound ever.
Silent.
It might as well be electric. And I should point out that the Spectre is coming out, and that is going to be full EV, and I believe this is the last Phantom that is going to have a gas motor.
Wow. It'll probably be around for a while though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'll still be able to go buy one.
Okay, so now another tunnel send, but with the windows up, you'll see how quiet it is. Floored. And that's pinned. So this is a ZF 8-speed, and you can feel the gears when you really floor it, but when you're just cruising around, you don't feel the gear changes. Like, it's exactly what you want.
And it's not like lightning fast, right?
No, because it doesn't need to be.
It's just built for smoothness. So even though it's a huge motor with a bunch of power, it's mostly just cruising. But you can get up to a high speed. It's constant and like not as like snappy.
It's the classic line of it pulls like a freight train, because it's so smooth. It's got torque. And you don't really want this to be fast, like you said. So the 0 to 60 is like in the 5 seconds, but it's also in the who cares seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have a tack for your RPM. You just have a power reserve.
Yeah.
So you know what percentage on, which is really cool.
And driving this down the PCH, I fit right in. I did not feel like I was standing out. Everyone was staring at me, but at the same time, I didn't care. I was just like, yeah, I'm good. This makes sense here.
You're passing a lot of luxury cars and everything too.
Yeah, so this makes total sense out here. And I believe Toronto is actually a really hot market for Rolls-Royces, probably one of the best in the world. So it also makes sense back home.
Yeah, even though we don't see them as much where we are in Toronto.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like a downtown thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we did see a bunch of them driving down Ocean Avenue when we were at the True Car office.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. They fit right in there.
Yeah.
It makes total sense out here. I love driving this thing. It is ridiculously comfortable. The steering is, as Rolls-Royce says, effortless, and they are 100% right.
It almost feels like car driving simulator, because you're like, there's no way this can be this smooth. Like, what kind of magic are you doing?
Yeah.
It's really fun to drive.
And then seeing the Spirit of Ecstasy up there, which is amazing. And then Rolls-Royce always from the factory maps your number 8 hard button to raise or lower that.
But maybe we could talk about some of the interior with me behind the wheel.
That would be a good thing, because there's lots to talk about here. But I think I'm going to stay in the passenger seat and not go in the back.
For the drive.
Yeah. I've already experienced that, but we'll describe it later.
Almost reached for the door handle.
What are you new to the Rolls-Royces, Yuri? This is now my 4th?
Very new to Rolls-Royces. And for everyone who subscribes to our channel, Jacob's voice will get 1% better. We need 100 of you to fully heal him up.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
If I whisper, my voice sounds okay.
Okay.
Should we do a full ASMR video?
No, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, definitely not.
First thing I noticed, these floor mats, so cushy, so thick. And the driver one, it's got like leather in the middle. It kind of looks like a gorilla chest to me, but in like a good way. I love it.
Yeah, these floor mats, I mean, they're carpets. They're unreal. They're so thick.
And speaking of floor mats,
there are no TuxMat for this vehicle. However, if you buy a set of TuxMat for your vehicle, that's probably the nicest thing you can get for your vehicle to almost turn it into a Rolls-Royce. So go to tuxmat.com/TheStraightPipes to see what they have available for your vehicle.
We'll ask them to start making carpeted Tux mats. And the coolest thing about this Phantom 8 Series 2 is the gallery. Jacob, can you please explain what the gallery is?
So first of all, I'm going to attempt to touch it, and I'm going to fail. Why?
It is art that is sealed behind hermetically, is that the right word?
Hermetically
sealed glass.
So the glass stretches from the passenger side, one pane, all the way to the driver's side.
It is so cool. And then you can get different art. You can also get your own art made, as long as it's approved by Rolls-Royce, that they could have sealed in there. Like, you probably can't have your kid like scribble like a drawing of like Dada and me and then have that put in there. Probably like, no, get Banksy to do it instead, and then we'll seal it.
Yeah, so they have like pre-arranged ones that you can just select from, but I mean, if you have enough money, you can kind of get them to do basically anything. And this is called Regatta Sails.
Yeah, I like it. It looks really impressive. And the glass just looks so see-through, and I keep trying to touch it.
I know.
And you can also not touch this infotainment. You'd have to control it from this little rotary dial that pops out. And you know, I love rotary dials that you don't let you touch the screen.
Yeah, and we have Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto.
Yeah, because Rolls-Royce users are cool with Apple CarPlay.
That's apparently what their customer base is. So
that's good that you got an Apple phone to prepare yourself for when you buy.
For my used old Rolls-Royce that won't have anything, probably.
Whatever, man. Okay, this rotor dial's cool. It's got the Spirit of Ecstasy in there, too, and it's got all the buttons for raising, lowering your cameras. It's got a very similar to BMW infotainment, so it's a lot of familiar stuff like the 360 camera, the way all that's set up. The radar cruise, and then we also have the 1 to 8 buttons, which we can program to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I just love leaving the 8 to the Spirit of Ecstasy, raising and lowering.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, obviously, if you try to steal it, it'll like pop down and just hit the button.
And then when you park the car and lock it, it'll actually go down and then back up when you start it.
Okay, this is such a nice shot that no one else can see right now, but it's me driving down to the ocean in through Malibu.
Here, let me try and film this with my phone.
Do it quick, do it quick.
Okay, this is what we're looking at right now.
This is the richest I've ever felt in my life.
Wow, just the Spirit of Ecstasy sitting there, and there's the ocean.
Flexing on Malibu, who also probably all have.
Oh yeah, that's why this fits right in.
And then I guess another thing they're doing with this model as well is allowing you to do so much customization from the factory, so you don't have to go out and do different things with it. Like you can get it done from Rolls-Royce. And this interior, we have white with black and red stitching. I did see some videos where it was like white with green, which for me, like that's kind of what I would go for.
And then they like to do this teal in all the door handles because I've also seen it on the Ghost.
Yeah.
And then I also noticed this purple on your park stock, whatever you want to call it. Your drive stock?
Drive stock, yeah.
What's it called?
Cars don't really have that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what to call it. And everything is like handmade, hand stitched. You can see it matching up on the dash. That pinstripe on the exterior is hand laid.
Yeah, it's super sweet. And I like that we don't have piano black. We have this other cool material that pops super hard along everything on the inside. And on the back of the seats in the back too, you can see it.
Yeah, and these seats are so comfortable, especially while we're getting massages. In the back there, even more comfortable. It's like theater seating. You're higher above the driver.
And in the back, we do have the tray and entertainment back there.
Yeah, so if you press the button on the side of the seat, you get your tray. If you press the button in your center console, then you get your TV. But if you just press that button, you will also get both at the same time.
And we don't have it folded down right now. It can be a seat, but when you fold it down, you do have your, what kind of glasses are there?
Champagne flutes.
And we actually have the real ones now that we're in California, so that's sweet.
Those are probably very expensive.
Okay, and then back to the entertainment, we can do HDMI and Blu-rays, which I feel is right. Like you don't need a full entertainment system in here, and I feel like Rolls-Royce owners aren't probably going to watch movies.
No.
But if they wanted to, they could.
They're going to watch business meetings.
I don't know. I feel like I'd watch movies back there.
Yeah, but you also don't own one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And there are no privacy shades back there, what I think is like, I'd expect them in a Phantom.
Yeah, I mean, you can option them, get your peasant blockers. That's what I like to call them in here.
They're not baby shades in this at all. They're definitely peasant blockers.
However, you can put a baby seat in here, and I did have my son in the back of a Ghost in his baby seat at the Ghost event for the Black Badge, so there's that. So back there, we can open the doors, obviously, but then we have a button to close the doors.
Automatically.
Yes, of course. And then we can also do that from the exterior by just touching the buttons on the outside.
And then you do have the umbrellas that pop out, which cost a ton of money, which is super cool to have.
Yep, but then sitting back in there again, you also have volume buttons for the infotainment, and then you also have buttons to adjust your footrests, which is obviously an additional option.
And adjusting the footrest is cooler, because like at first I thought, okay, it's going to be one of those that comes down, but this isn't the long wheelbase, so you can't fully stretch out. But you don't really need to. But the footrest just changes the angle where your feet are, and that's like, I've never experienced that, and it's so luxurious.
It's like that plane thing in, I think, business class, where sometimes that little thing drops down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
And then like all other Rolls-Royces, or Rollers, to control your fan speed, it's off, soft, medium, high, and max. You don't get like numbers or anything. And then your temperature, you don't see what the actual temperature is. You just move the blue and red, which is so cool.
It's so simple and nice. And we also have hard buttons for heated and cooled seats and our heated steering wheel, and everything's a hard button in here. Everything that you want.
I like that it's still all hard button stuff.
Yep.
And then trunk space real quick, there's a ton of room, which I guess is necessary because you'll be driving around a lot of luggage.
Yes, and then you also have a little bit of luggage space taken away by your fridge.
Yeah, I mean, there's still enough to not really care about that. And then we do have the...
But then, sorry, you can also say to someone, sorry, my fridge got in the way.
And you can also click the trunk close button or the lock button, which may not be that important to the owner, but for the chauffeur, they would really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Something else the chauffeur and actually the rear occupants or any occupants would appreciate. This is the first Rolls-Royce with rear wheel steering.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's not like double digits like Mercedes has been doing, so it's not like weird.
It's subtle.
It's subtle and it makes sense, and it does make this car a lot more maneuverable in small parking lots.
Okay, cup holder for your water bottle. It is holding your water bottle, right? It looks like it'd be good for small cups of coffee, and since none of this white material is fabric, I would risk drinking a coffee in here.
Yes, this leather is second to none. It is unreal, so comfortable. Everything is so nice and soft. What about these visors, which are leather?
3, 2, 1. Oh, I was so gentle with it.
So was I.
If I was gonna,
that was a full pass, by the way.
If I was going to customize my own Rolls-Royce, I think I would see if I could get Starry Night added to the visors.
Yes.
I like visors so much.
Yes, and then our headliner is actually perforated leather, so you can see the Starry Night headliner.
And it's a white headliner, and you can see the stars during the day.
Yeah, so you can actually dim it or brighten it here, or you can also turn it off. And then there's also a shooting star very randomly.
Still haven't caught the shooting star.
Yeah, I saw it once in the Ghost.
What constellation would you have up here?
I mean, the one that Rolls-Royce likes to say is you can get whatever the star orientation was from the day that you were born.
I think I'd like a big fat Big Dipper right in the middle. You know what I mean? It's like the only constellation I could find. So,
it's
you know,
true. Yeah.
Throw back to my astronomy skills.
Yeah, Big Dipper. This luxurious clock in the dash looks amazing, and it fits perfectly, and obviously it is very expensive.
And what I love, love, love is the sound system in this.
Oh my goodness, this Rolls-Royce bespoke audio system is crystal clear and really loud.
Yeah, I was blasting my 90s on 9 Sirius XM using some time shift.
You're Enrique Iglesias currently?
Balamos. And I feel like that's pretty much everything that we can talk about right now with this Rolls-Royce in California. Been having a great time. It's super comfortable, and I think it's time we get to the price. Is this the most expensive car we've ever driven?
I think so, or at least it's very close. It starts at $475,000.
US.
This one with about $150,000 in options is $628,300.
And they're going to be presenting other Phantoms that have even more add-ons.
Yes.
Add-ons, options.
Options. So
customization.
And their customers apparently have been customizing the heck out of these things lately, so this is actually like kind of a reasonable spec. So to sum this car up, I absolutely love it. This is my absolute dream car, and I would take this over a Lamborghini because at my stage in life, I want to be comfortable.
Okay, but you can't afford one of these.
No.
I can't afford one of these. If you try your hardest, maybe you can afford a Ghost. Would you be happy with a Ghost as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually would.
Yeah, that's cool too. I wasn't sure. I thought it was always like, I want to go the biggest one or nothing, but they're actually all like really, really awesome.
Yeah, this is unreal, and yeah, look forward to the rest of the videos from our True Car trip.
True Car California trip.
I mean, self-explanatory at this point.
Where we're mostly just chilling in Malibu.
Yeah, this is sick.
So let us know what you think of this Rolls-Royce video. Do you like our videos from California? Should we come down to the True Car head office a couple more times and do more of these?
Yeah, and if you're shopping for one of these, tsb.truecar.com, you can buy a new one or a used one.
Yeah, I guess once you buy a new one, then you're going to have to go and customize it anyways.
Yeah.
They should let us customize one day.
Ooh, Rolls-Royce, let us know.
Let us know. We'll make it classy, I swear.